What's up, my friends? Welcome back to another episode of Bearski Method. Yeah, they're all here, always, my companions. Well, let's start with a little rewind. You have probably mentioned it a few times before that I have been met with a lot of, let's just say, scrutiny and so forth from YouTube for posting my live feeding videos, the most exciting content apparently that I release, and now has been deleted entirely. My 1.8 million view video about piranha versus frog conclusion feeding, which is a two-part video, sort of, was age restricted 4 or 5 times and approved each time, but most recently, as of noon just today, it was actually deleted. It was being removed. It was removed based on the community guideline violation. Hang on one second. All right. So I have decided to actually perhaps move the somewhat controversial or graphic content, as I label it myself, although it is a natural everyday occurrence all around the world. Apparently it has been met with censorship, as nature now is being censored and our freedom of speech is disappearing rapidly. Anyway, there's a couple other platforms. One of them is Patreon, where you can find me, support me, donate at whatever will, and that's where you're gonna find my live feeding videos. Most likely that's where I'm gonna move that content, that material, and you know, load something up there at a pretty frequent rate. As you can imagine, I feed these guys at least once a week, each tank, so there'll be quite a few videos. And after, let's just say, initial run, if we don't meet any type of censorship or other kind of BS as far as politically correct nonsense nowadays, we'll post more and most of the latest, obviously the upgrades, and as I mentioned before, with the bigger tank, bigger prey, enormous, I mean, awesome action, and I can't even foresee what type of, you know, what type of feedings, hunting, or, you know, how it all is going to go down. I just simply can't predict. We haven't crossed that bridge. We are building the tank. We being me and you guys, my supporters on Patreon and here on this channel. I really appreciate all of you guys, you know, rooting for me, because ultimately we're rooting for each other. I enjoy doing this and sharing with you. You guys are enjoying watching it. Whoever doesn't like it or not enjoying it, just click away and go watch something else, some Disney stuff, you know, whatever suits you. But this is kind of for the naturalists, for the realists. So anyway, if you'd like to support me on Patreon, you can find some new content. Obviously I have to navigate to it, and let's just say give it an honest try to see if we in fact will be able to you know, share some of the more controversial, racy, or most exciting, as I call it, content I have produced or created so far. So, hey, really appreciate your support. And for those of you that are new here, my name is Marek. Everyone calls me Bearski. This is my channel, was my channel. I don't seem to have control over it anymore, but this is where I share basically all of the, you know, ongoing natural sort of occurrences and things. I just call it life, you know, and my aspect, my viewpoint that a lot of you share. My friends, here's what I'm doing. I'm gonna give you a clue. It's gonna be a feeding video. Anyway, I've installed a brace suction cup for the GoPro. We're gonna try to do a live feeding GoPro edition, meaning, you know, underwater action. I know you guys have been asking about it, and I've been kind of dragging my feet to, you know, to actually go ahead and do it. But now it's time to go deep into the piranha habitat. What I mean by that, we're gonna basically install the GoPro under and start with the chub. Why chop? Because they're super familiar with it, and I don't want to be, let's just say, imposing any other distractions other than this camera in there. So the chop should be a good start. Later on, I'll introduce the GoPro into that juvenile tank as well, and we'll, you know, make some more footage of the feeding videos, which you guys love so much, and I really like sharing, and that's what got us here. It's essential that the piranhas and how they feed and everything else is being illustrated for us, for all of us, to better understand what is required, other than a glass tank and a bunch of water. The big tank is went on pause for, you know, a few days, a couple of days, for obvious reasons. I really had to sort of reevaluate what the hell's going on with the channel and everything else, and the energy I'm spending on it. Not to mention, and now it did kind of put a, you know, damper on the action, and not to mention my morale. And well, let's just say I have more to share with you. We'll just continue, keep going, as long as they let us, you know. And I really appreciate your support. I've read the hundreds of comments, and even some of you mentioned, you know, petitioning and everything else. You have no idea how that made me feel. Sometimes, a lot of times, I feel like I'm kind of alone here, but this made me feel really, you know, like being a part of a larger community that really believes that what we're doing is, it's right, it's correct. There's no arguing. There's no debating nature, my friends, and I appreciate that. Stand strong and definitely, you know, believe for what, you know, what you really believe in. Don't sway. Don't, you know, don't give in. And I didn't either. We're gonna continue on with our adventures here. Obviously, I have more to share than other than just fish and stuff like that, and there's more in the other room that I'll be expanding further. This wasn't gonna come up for a while because obviously we're in the midst of building this thing, but there's more. There's a plan to expand that room to the original design, the original plan, which was the river tank. And that tank is just gonna be a one massive, probably close to 15 feet long, several feet deep and wide river tank. An absolute river tank with a fast current and maybe even trout swimming inside. So we'll see. For now, my friends, like I said, I really appreciate your support. It's really been a fantastic experience. Sharing, interacting, talking, you know, discussing, not to mention, you know, learning. I mean, I'm learning from you guys as well. No one here is know-it-all, you know what I mean? Everybody's experiencing different things, has a different viewpoint or point of view, and simply share with everybody else. And this is what this platform is all about. So really, I really appreciate you guys. It has been a tremendous experience for me, not to mention that really has boosted up my morale. And with that, I can promise you there will be more going on in the cave and in the channel in general. I basically spend a lot of time hanging out with my carnivorous companions. My dogs and cats are with me all the time. You can hear Zara right now. He's probably, you know, telling somebody to back off, imaginary butterflies and whatnot. Anyway, my friends, I really appreciate you stopping by, and I will see you on the next one.